It looks like it's just recording. Okay, great. So I'm going to screen share so that everybody can take a look at what we have for due dates. Okay, these are our key things that you do throughout the fall term, is make sure that activity reports are filed through this website here. So that's just when an outreach event takes place through your computing core, that somebody from your organization enters the information about it. Anybody have any questions about that?
I do.
Okay.
At the FSU STARS chapter, we have a spreadsheet where we keep track of it. Is it okay if we update the activity report every week?
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm not so concerned about the timeline if you don't do it every day or right after the event, but as long as somebody, ideally the EA, is making sure that there's a accurate listing, up to date on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, whatever works for you guys. Yeah.
Awesome.
I would like for you to put it in our activity report, because that is a aggregate listing, and that gives us immediate access to report to NSF when they ask us for nuggets, which they are frequently apt to do. And that way I have an accurate head count. I don't have to assume missing data. And I don't know if that's double work for you or not. Is that spreadsheet that you're maintaining your own?
Yeah, but it'll be easy to go in and put the information. So I'll do it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, because what we need is in that activity report, and that is what is required reporting from the NSF, and that's why we ask for a gender breakdown the way we do, and underrepresented student counts the way we do. And I don't know if your individual spreadsheet tracks that or not, so just make sure that you can capture what's in the activity report.
We do. Well, we have all the racial, gender breakdown, the time, STARS students helping, and the event name.
Awesome. All right. Consent forms and registration online. This is kind of two things, but Quentin had asked this question before we were recording, so I'm going to repeat it. There are consent forms that you can download from our Toolkit site right here. And I also think I posted a link on the online community. He noticed that they had 2014 or 15. If you could just make sure you update that to 2015, and they're the same exact consent form, it's just the year changes. And make sure everybody in your core that didn't come to Celebration, caveat, if they came to Celebration, we got this already. But as you have new students coming in, joining, make sure they find that consent form. Just scan it, and you can email them to me.
And
I've been receiving quite a few of those by email over the last couple of days. And I think that actually somebody sent them to me by Dropbox. They shared a Dropbox folder. That's cool too. As long as you find a way to get them to me, I will have a record of those.
Okay.
Questions?
And we don't have to so we already fill out a vendor form. We don't have to refill it out, correct?
I'm not sure.
The vendor form for the deposits?
Vendor forms should be filled out, I think, every term. I am not certain. I'm not certain, actually. Let me make sure that Aubrey Collins answers that question for you, because stipends are administered through UNC Charlotte payroll. They change their protocol fairly frequently, so I want to make sure that I give you correct information. So, not really in my lane. I'm not 100% certain what the vendor forms are supposed to look like, but I think the deadline is this week for submitting those. Is that right?
Yeah. And additionally, you mentioned as far as the community STARS computing court org pays for the create accounts every semester, I could log back into my old account easily without any issues. So how do we validate? Huh?
Well, our administrator for that site defaults everybody to alumni status at the end of every term. And so what we're doing when you go back into your account, Quentin, is making sure that your information is current. Perhaps you may have moved in your level. You might have gone from, I know you're a grad student, but what if you were a grad student last semester? We want to know that you moved up and became a grad student. We want to make sure that we have the right information for your current email address, that kind of thing. And you need to uncheck alumni box to current STARS computing core. So that's what every student process will look like if you've registered before. The students will be creating everything blank. New students also automatically get sent our pre-survey upon filling that form out the very first time. So if you guys could make sure you prompt your core students to do that and let them know that if they're brand new, they're going to be for that survey. It might end up getting sent to their spam since it comes from, a third party. Any questions about consent forms and registrations online? Are we good?
So we can still turn those consent or email those consent forms to you today, right?
Yeah, when a deadline passes, and you didn't meet it, it doesn't mean that you're off the hook. It means I still need it. It's just going to be late.
I was trying to
And with students, when they come in on a rolling basis, consent forms and registration is going to be rolling, and I get that. Today's deadline was really sort of a benchmark because it's middle of the semester. Everyone who's in the course should be identified by now. If you happen to have people start later, that's fine. It's just that usually the midpoint of the semester we know who's in. And I wanted you to have a date to aim for.
Oh, we'll have two of us at the moment. I was just trying to get the form from the other person, and I didn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Go and or
Okay.
when he'll be sending me his or sending you his. So.
Okay, great. The alumni tracker is a little bit more complicated. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it and see if, let's see, there it is. Uh-oh. Google, all right. So this is the spreadsheet called the alumni tracker that we have. And I'm having trouble with it. It might be that I just don't have the bandwidth to do all that I have going on with my Wi-Fi right now. But it's basically a Google spreadsheet with the full name and the names of people who we think have been affiliated in the core with your university. So what I would like you to do is update that with the students that are yours that are not there, add them in. If they're affiliated with your school but incorrectly, if you could make a note comment, say this student is not associated with our campus. It might be that we got the wrong school with them. And then, of course, if they've graduated or still pursuing their degree, we would like to know that. One of the students was mentioning, I think two of you earlier before we recorded, that you weren't actually able to edit or add. You could only fill in the notes section. So if that is the case, just make the notes as clear as you can and as straightforward so that we can clean it up. I wanted to target getting this done in October because once November hits, the term ends and everybody gets involved with exams. And we really need to have this information done because the end of our funding is coming and we are accountable to our community, to everyone, you guys included. We want to talk about our success rates for graduation. So I know it's time consuming. Get some help. Maybe you can delegate to other EAs, if you have more than one EA at your school, as many of you do. If you don't, you have somebody that you help and trust with that to split it. We've got two students at UNC Charlotte that are splitting it, taking the top half and the bottom half to kind of fill it in. So whatever works for you would be great. But please take that very seriously. That's the most critical thing that I will need from you this semester. Any questions about the alumni tracker?
So STARS is ending this semester, correct? Or now?
Officially, our current grant from the NSF terminates in December, but we have a extension. So we're continuing to operate, and we have funds to operate, but we have to report and close out, so to speak, the 10 years with a timestamp of what activities took place. But we're still pressing on. We just have new ways of funding it.
Okay.
More and more creative we are. The only other thing left to do besides the alumni trackers, the narrative reports, and I will send the template out by email. I'll also put a link to it on our online community. and it will have the detailed instructions and operational definitions of what we want to include. I'll have that out in probably a couple of weeks, and that way you can take a look and see. For those of you who've been in STARS for a while, there will be no surprises. It's the same thing you've seen before. I will record on the November call how to fill it out, since it's not due until December 4th. But you might want to have a look at it right when I email it to you so that you can say, oh, okay, that's the kind of thing we're expected to discuss. It's summarizing what you think your STAR is good at and things that you want to share with the rest of us.
Okay, so can you guys hear me? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, there we go. Can you guys hear me at all?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool, awesome. So with the alumni tracker, since it's for today, could that be sent in like a week or so? Like is that rolling, or is it only the activity reports that are rolling?
It's also rolling. We absolutely have to have that information, and we had hoped that we could have it all complete by today, and about half the schools have submitted. And the rest, it'll just be late, but better late than never.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I'll get it to you today. I'll just keep bothering people.
Thank you. So, any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh, do we just need to ask for editing access? There isn't, I guess, a larger STARS core folder that the EA should have access to?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I'm sorry, I was asking, is there a Google Drive folder that we collectively have access to?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
That spreadsheet is just a single spreadsheet, and if you don't have access to edit, you just make a request and I'll grant that. I sent it out a couple of weeks ago, and I might not have had the correct email addresses. I didn't know who all the EAs were at that point. So if you need access to it, just ask for it and I'll grant that. The Google community is where I've been posting the meeting schedules, and you can just go to the meeting, but you can actually download them to your calendar, and then you know exactly when they are. And the links for Zoom will be there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we have just a few minutes left. Would anyone like to provide an update about what your computing core is doing this semester?
Well, University of Texas, we're still doing the book club. Also like doing bug catching competitions. I think people enjoy that. We're hoping to get at least one STAR student interested in trying to publish a paper on some project, but we don't know yet. But hopefully we can get someone into that journey.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, and Morehouse College has been doing research on the Holy Shutdown, which is basically a sort of virtual reality experience, and it's been piloted with middle schools and elementary schools in the area. So everything is progressing pretty well.
Yes, and this is Linda from Georgia Gwinnett College. We hosted a Super Saturday in September where we had middle school and high school girls come in to do technology-related activities, including animation and coding. So that went very well.
And then DePaul, we have a Tech Monday program that we're creating with the local library, so that students can come and either like learn to code or like try something on Scratch. And it's one of the biggest things right now. Yeah.
At FSU, we just launched the Google CS First program with Leon County Schools, and it's starting in one of the middle schools this month. And we're trying to reach out to the other schools as well.
At Illinois Tech, we're continuing our Saturday programs, teaching JavaScript and HTML to middle school girls. And we're also planning a Rails Girls event in November, mid-November. So that's what we're working on.
Anybody collecting any impact data on program participants?
We have a total of 42 activities so far, totaling at 172 hours, reaching 2,200 students since the first week of school, August 24th.
That's fantastic. Do we know? Oh, I'm sorry, there's a feedback there. Do we know of attitude outcomes or any behavior outcomes? That's been kind of this sticky widget for us to track what happens with these younger students over time.
We haven't started a lot of our younger outreach yet. We're waiting for the spring to get more into more outreach. Like, we've been focusing on employee recruitment and senior outreach at the senior residence homes, and supporting the new organizations that we created, Campus Girl Scouts, Transfers Helping Transfers, which is to help the community college students merge over to FSU, and also our community outreach group.
Campus Girl Scouts, that's new for FSU, yeah?
Yes, it just started this year.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I thank you, everybody, for your time and participation and the way that you are engaging with STARS to help us report our successes and tell the story. So you're a really vital part of that, and I appreciate your flexibility with all of our technology challenges this semester. I'll do my best to keep up with your email inquiries, so keep them coming as you need assistance, and I will see you next time, November 20th.
Hey, Audrey,
Yes.
one quick thing on the consent forms. Do you just need the signature page?
That's right, just the signature page.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. All right, you guys have a great weekend.
You too. Everyone too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.